Welcome back to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. For friendly expert tax advice whenever you need it, come to Donahue Accounting Service. A leading accounting firm in Cincinnati, Ohio, our top-notch accountants strive to help you resolve all your financial and tax issues. Call Donahue Accounting Services today for a free consultation at 513-528-3982 or visit online at donahueaccountingservice.com. I'm your host, Alex Meacham, former Bearcat basketball player from 1997 to 1999 under the Hall of Fame coach, Bob Huggins.
And I'm Neil Meyer with the Front Office News.
I'm JT Smith, editor-in-chief of the Front Office News.
All right, fellas, we are back for another episode. Let's jump right into it. The Bearcats are currently 12-6 after losing to Texas Tech 71-81. JT, take a deep breath. Thoughts on the Bearcats' performance?
Man.
You did take
So it was good to see the offense working for about, 36 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I thought that was good. Thought that was positive. You know, I like some of the actions, a lot of different stuff. They dominated in the paint on the offensive side. But defense, man, led them astray. I think they went to like a 1-3-1 in the second half for a quick second. I thought it confused or slowed, Tech down, and they went away from it. I think just out of stubbornness. And man, Tech shot the lights out the ball. Like I honestly, I was the most impressed with Tech. I mean, we probably didn't help. I think we let them get too many open shots per se, but I was more impressed with Tech than I was with Kansas. Personally, far on the offensive end, me personally. They got guards and wings that can score, and they got a couple of big men that can, control the paint. You know what I mean? So just think they're well-rounded. But, man, I look back at the Bearcats are down 5. Dede's at the line, 1-1. He misses the front end, come down, and within the next couple possessions, the Bearcats are down 12 points. And after that, you kind of see the writing on the wall. So, Tech was a team that, they're a real good team. No slight to Tech at all. Like, they are legit. I was impressed by them. But, man, the Bearcats just aren't protecting the home court right now, and that's kind of deflating and disappointing right now.
Do you think sometimes, JT, as a coach and as a team, you have some deficiencies, so you start to focus in on those deficiencies, and sometimes you lose a little bit of focus on the things you do well. So, we can say that, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. You could say that defense has been a big part of the DNA for this Bearcat basketball team, and the offense was clicking a little bit better, right? And so obviously there was a focus on that, over the last couple of practices. We give up 81 points. It's a lot of points, right? So your defense, which historically has been, pretty good. So do you think, I'm saying all that, I'm kind of rambling, but saying all that to say, do you think the focus was on the offense and you forgot a little bit about defense?
Yeah, for sure. 100%, man. You have 2 big-time games, you don't score over 50 points. And then you hold people down, you hold Kansas to under 55. I think they had 54. So You do that. Even when they got blown out by Baylor only scored 68. It's not like they had 80, something like that. So, you're not scoring. You got to get the ball. I mean, they scored 48 and 40. So you got to start scoring so then that can't slip. But what sucks is you concentrate more on that. You think, okay, we're a top 10 defensive team by metrics rating. You think, all right, if that slips, it's not going to slip as much as it did. I think it just all right, we start scoring, but then it's everybody's all right, we're not going to be, attention to details as tight as it was on the defensive end. And that's probably less practicing, but it's just you would think, as good as they've had, that run of how many games? They had 17 games, roughly, of elite defense. And then you just, you have one game where you need it the most at home and you don't have it. And then your offense is clicking a lot better. But it's kind of like one of those things you got to have a middle ground for both if they're going to make a run in this Big 12.
They're going to need it. And we're going to talk about what they need to do a little bit later in terms of the offensive and defensive end moving forward. Neil, your thoughts?
Yeah, so the Texas Tech game, as JT mentioned, obviously the two biggest differences in the Texas Tech game was, one, the rebounding margin. I mean, you lose the rebounding margin for the 5th straight game for Cincinnati, and you lose 34-27. But the big thing is 10-3 on the offensive boards. And I mean, Alex, at what point did you kind of realize that you were getting beat on the board so many times? But there was 2 or 3 possessions, I think I looked at JT and we circled them in our notes, where Texas Tech had 2 or 3 offensive boards in each of those possessions that resulted in a wide open 3. So Cincinnati was just getting beat on the boards in just about every way. And I mean, Texas Tech is a elite scoring offense. We talked about it in the past, but after the first 8 or so minutes in that one, when the lid came off for Texas Tech, I mean, there was one point where they opened things back up where they went 4 straight possessions with the 3, and then you're like, okay, how do we stop this? And it kind of felt like they could just, the lid was off and everything was falling for Texas Tech. I mean, you look down, Jacob Toppin had 20, Christian Anderson had 18, Chance McMillan had 17, Kevin Overton had 14. Between those 4 guys, they had 69 of Texas Tech's 81 points. So anytime you kind of look down and you can get that kind of production from any team, especially with two of those guys, not even starters, coming off the bench, you're going to be in pretty good hands. But I mean, this is a game too where Cincinnati really had arguably their best shooting performance of the season, essentially. Finished the game 52% from the field. The 3-point shot still was not there, but they only took 14 attempts. And that aspect, Jizzle James, I thought was fantastic. I thought he had his best game of the season. 17 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. I thought Dylan Mitchell made an extreme impact, especially down the final minutes there. 12 points, 5 of 8 shooting, 4 rebounds. But in that aspect, they needed guys to step up again. They were able to knock down their free throws. You go 74% from the line, but when you look down and you see a 1 for 7 from Simas Lukosius, a 2 for 6 from Dan Skillings, or a 3 for 7 from Day or something like that. But overall, outside of Jizzle James and Dylan Mitchell, Texas Tech was really making Cincinnati earn just about every bucket they had. Aziz Bandego, it's also worth noting that he didn't even go through a shoot-around ahead of Texas Tech. It sounds like he woke up and was dealing with a little bit of some back spasms that kind of lingered him. He did play versus Texas Tech, but you can kind of sense that he wasn't fully 100%, and that's definitely something to keep an eye on heading into BYU.
I noticed that I think we lost both halves of the game, right?
Yep.
I mean, has that happened in a while?
I don't think so. I really don't. Outside of Baylor.
Baylor, we lost both halves?
Yep.
Yeah. I'll say Baylor.
Okay. So let me ask a couple of things. So you remember last pod I said, I thought the keys of the game for me was defense in terms of holding Texas Tech under 70. I feel like if we hold them under 70, we win. And shit, we would have won 71-70 if we held them just to 70, but we couldn't do that. Why do you guys think we can't put this together? What do you think the issues are?
I think it's just consistency, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously.
So what do you mean, Neil, by consistency? Consistency of what?
When they are scoring the ball but not rebounding, that's one way. But then when they're rebounding and not scoring, so they kind of go hand in hand together. When they're scoring the ball, they're not really rebounding as well. But when they're rebounding the ball, they're not really scoring, if that makes sense.
JT, your thoughts?
Man, it's too hard. My biggest thing with the Bearcats right now is when they make runs and the other team answers, it seems like their execution just falls apart. Like, I feel like it was a time, like it was like a do-or-die time, and they had like 2 turnovers in a row. And it was like after that, you're kind of like, what you're going to do? You know what I mean? I feel like it's been the execution at times. Like even though they shot it great, 52%. I'll take that any day of the week. But it just feels like when the other team is like not backing down, sometimes we just do a lot of careless stuff that just shouldn't be doing, especially when we're rolling like that. Then they just do like a silly turnover or just moving too fast, and then boom, this team is on fire. And they hit a shot, and it's kind of like they, we got our waste in the grave, and then they're just turnover happens, and then you just throwing more dirt, and then trying to get out of this. So like it's just I don't really know how you fix it. I mean, you got to keep just doing stuff in practice or whatnot, and hopefully those habits be turned over into the games. But sometimes they just get real casual with the ball at the wrong time.
And I've said this before, I sound like a broken record, fellas. The thing with this league, you lose one, you got another opportunity. And this Saturday at 10:30 p.m., the Bearcats take on BYU. Have you guys ever been out to BYU?
I have not.
Never been there?
No. You?
No, I've never been there. Never been
about
there.
To go where's BY? Where BYU at?
Provo.
You never been to Provo, Utah?
Never been to Provo. Didn't have a reason to go to Provo. Like, is there anything in Provo to make you want to go to Provo other than BYU? I just like saying Provo, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it sounds legit.
Provo. I don't know what else is there. Neil, you got to do some research on that. What else is there? Any
mountains,
local bars? Look into that, Neil.
Though they can't drink out there on that campus, so.
Man, ain't no reason to go to Provo then for a lot of people.
Yeah, BYU, most of them are they're religious as Mormons, so they're not really drinking out there.
Right. That's right.
I can't imagine their food being fire either. Like, go out there. Like,
fans love the BYU, like the cougar tail. I don't know what's really all in it. It's called the cougar tail. It's their like special for food.
Cougar tail is crazy. Like, that's not a pause thing, but it's just like crazy. They can't even do nothing out there, and they got something called cougar tail. It's crazy.
Yeah, you didn't know that they had them at the Big 12 tournament. It's like a donut.
It's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like a donut.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool, but I don't think I'll ever like. Only way I feel like I'll break any bread to go to Provo. I mean, it had to be like a top 20 against top 20 type game. I'm not going to Provo, bro.
So did BYU land the #1 kid?
Yeah. He's only gonna be there for a couple months.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's getting a bag regardless, considering he's getting what, $7 million in NIL.
I ain't mad at him.
Hey,
I ain't mad at him.
Wait till the real stuff comes out about that situation.
Get your money. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. Let's jump into the Big O segment sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. In this segment, we cover players to watch and key matchups. JT, who are you expecting a big game from?
All right, so we're going Dan Skillings. I feel like on the road, he normally kind of steps up, I think, but he has to come out early and just kind of impose his will. And hopefully the rest of the team is there to, hope they're all together, backs against the wall. Can't have a Baylor performance where he scores 2 points in the first half and then he scores, I think, 16 or 14 in the second half. Got to come out guns blazing down the shield. If we're going to lose, let's lose going for it. Don't let them punch us in the mouth. Let's punch them in the mouth, make them react, make them pay from behind. And I think he should, I need to see him rebound more. That's one of his superpowers, and I feel like it's been not on display lately. So I need him to have over 5 rebounds against BYU.
JT, why do you think Dan hasn't been rebounding the ball so well lately?
Honestly, all right. So Wes is like, he's normally guarding like the first, maybe the second best person on the other team. So he's chasing a lot of screens, but at the same time, I don't know if he's showed his normal explosion since he's come back. To me, at times, like he shows it in bursts, but not every time. So it could just be a trust thing. But he's not rebounding as good as he was before he went on the shelf. To me. to me. Because as a whole, like even if you look at his body of work last year, he was always making like if he had a game under 4 rebounds, everybody's kind of like, "Wait, what's going on?" You know what I mean? Now it's kind of becoming a consistent thing. So the only thing that I can say is, growth of like responsibility, but at the same time, I think I'll say the injury. I think he's fine. Of course, he's good enough to play for sure, but I just think since he's come back, he has not rebounded like the Dan Skilling, so we know.
Okay, that's fair. Neil, your Bearcat to watch, BYU player.
Yeah, so for my Bearcat player to watch, I'm going with Dylan Mitchell for this one. I think that's going to be the difference maker for Cincinnati. Obviously, kind of depending on the status of Aziz Bandaogo, we didn't get much of an update earlier. I know Wes Miller said he did not go through shoot-around on Tuesday. The team did not practice yesterday due to NCAA mandated rules where you have to have a day off following a game. So overall, still kind of his status is still something to kind of watch. So I'm going to go with Dylan Mitchell for Cincinnati just because Cincinnati is going to need to be effective on the boards in this matchup. BYU is a very good rebounding team between Fousseyni Traore and Kiba Kurita. So they're going to have to find ways to kind of match those guys up and get some boards there because if they allow BYU to crash and win the boards, especially on the offensive end like they did versus Texas Tech, it could be danger for Cincinnati, to say the least, and especially in a must-win game. But my players to watch for BYU, on the other hand, this is a very talented BYU team. And for BYU, it starts with their guard play. I mean, Richie Saunders is taking a new leap to his game this season for the Cougars. He's leading the team in scoring, averaging 14.5 points per game. 52% field goal shooter while also shooting 44% from behind the arc. This is a guy that can kind of do everything well, but for me, it's BYU's backcourt and BYU's backcourt only. I think Cincinnati can out-physical them in the front court, but their backcourt between the likes of Trevor Nell, Igor Demon, who's been arguably the most intriguing prospect in all of college basketball since becoming eligible. I mean, Igor Demon is probably meets one of the best point guards. He can score the ball. He can facilitate. He can really do a lot of different things that opens things up for BYU. It's kind of a similar offense to like what they ran under Mark Pope, but just with a top 5 point guard essentially controlling the offense. And then you look on side of it, Trevor Nell lit Cincinnati up last year from behind the arc where he went 9 of 14 from the field, with all 9 of them coming from 3. So this is a BYU team where they can shoot the shit out the 3 ball, but you got to make them play inside and kind of take them off the line. If you can take BYU off the line and keep them under 10 3-pointers a game, I think this is a game where Cincinnati could be in. It'll be a dogfight, but they'll be in it to the end. But if you let this BYU team get hot from behind the arc, especially the likes of Trevor Nell, Richie Saunders, Dallin Hall, those 3 guards right there, and then Igor Demon, if he's in that role, Igor's kind of struggled from behind the 3-point line. I think he's only shooting like 28% from 3, but he's a 55% field goal shooter when he gets downhill and attacked. So if you let BYU get hot from 3, it's going to be a long night in Provo.
Well, you know what time it is. Come on, Neil. Hey. Hey, you see, add a little bit to it, JT. He's got a little more
a little bit. Got a little juice.
You got a little juice.
Wait,
all right.
before we start the name game, I'm going to be the first to say it. This roster has a whole load of different names where I'm going to butcher one of these names. So
that's why we love the name game. All right, so let's jump right into it. So here's what we do. This is the part of the podcast where we have Neil Meyer pronounce the name or names of the players from the opposing team. Now, normally the opposing team has a good group of players with either interesting names that are tough to say, and sometimes just some flat out cool names. There have been some teams that didn't really have it, so we had to jump and pick other teams. But BYU, they never let me down, man. BYU never lets me down. Let's start, Neil, with number 0.
Number 0 is Mawat Mag.
You know what I wondered too? I wonder what some of these folks' nickname, like what's their nicknames amongst the teammate? What would you guess Mawat Mag's nickname is? JT?
Wow.
If that was your teammate, what would you call him?
I'll call him Watt.
What?
Watt.
What?
Yeah,
What?
Yeah, Watt.
Look at
yeah, I'm right there with
Watt.
Watt on that one.
I'll go Watt.
Okay. Number 3. You've already mentioned him, but
Number 3 is Igor Demon.
that's a tough name right there. Demon.
Yeah. Demon.
I'm a demon on the court.
Yeah, demon time.
Yeah. Number 5.
Number 5 is Mihalo Boskovic.
Mihalo. That's a Mihalo. I like that name. Number 7.
Yeah, number 7 is Kadim Mbap.
Hey, JT, you missed it. Did you look at Neil when he tried to say that?
I was reading the name with him.
And
In my head.
His mouth moved and the words came out differently than the way it was. Man, that was funny. Say it again, Neil.
Kadim Mbap.
What if it's probably like Bop? It might be like M. You know how they have like silent first letters and stuff, but it might be Mbop though.
It might be Mboop.
Mboop.
What if it's Boop? Because soup is SOUP and it's BOUP. What if it's Boop?
Yeah, what if it's Boop?
It could be.
Boop.
It could be.
Kadeem Boop.
Go alley-oop the Boop.
I know. I can't wait to hear that this telecast. Dang, they play at 10:30.
Yeah, they're 2 hours behind us, JT.
We're talking about Boop, and you're like, they play at 10:30?
No, I didn't realize it, man. I thought they played.
I said it earlier.
Man, I don't be paying attention to the times until it be too late. That's my problem. That's 10:30 is crazy.
Yeah,
oh, Jesus.
That's West Coast time.
Definitely gonna have me a drink. All right, go ahead.
Yep. All right, Neil. Number 12.
Number 12 is Townsend Triple.
I just like his name. Are you looking at him? Look at his picture.
I'm looking at the picture and I'm a little scared. Not gonna lie.
Now hold on. JT, are you looking at the picture?
Hold on. What number?
12.
His mustache and eyebrows are the same thing.
Hold on, let me check him out.
You see that?
Oh yeah, he looks like
that's why I said I was a little scared.
He looks like a killer in like what's my man? Like a Jason Statham movie.
Yeah, he definitely that mustache, boy, and my eyebrow. Whoa.
Yeah, he looks.
I ain't messing with old triple threat there.
His eyebrows is crazy.
Don't they look like a mustache?
Yeah, they look like he definitely gotta shave them things. He probably got the unibrow.
He's got to get those cut. He got to get a haircut.
He got to get a cut. Hey, dang, he don't play. Okay, dang.
He doesn't get in at all?
He don't get in like that.
And he's
averaging 0 points, 0.3 rebounds. He's not playing.
Because that mustache. Number 13, Neil.
Number 13 is Kiba Kieta.
Kieta. He is from Maui. Isn't that where wait a minute. Who's from Maui?
And Mamadou?
Mamadou's from Maui. Yeah.
I thought, okay.
Mamadou's from there. I'm at the Mamadou, did you know Kiba? He like, yeah, that's my guy, man. That's my guy.
He probably will know. Like, Mamadou, I can see him being like, yeah, that's my guy.
That's my guy, man. That's my guy.
Right.
Mamadou's the nicest human being. Like,
dude, the nicest human being.
He is so happy to be here. Number 20. Just a cool name.
Number 20 is Max Triplet.
Now, you got Townsend Triple and Max Triplet. Interesting. I just want to point that out. Number 45.
Number 45 is Fousseyni Traore.
That was pretty good,
Yeah,
Neil.
you did.
I was ready for you to butcher that all up.
Yeah,
I
me
couldn't
too.
butcher it up because I talked to him at the Big 12 tournament last year a couple times, so I made sure not to mess that one up. Because I messed it up. I messed it up back there in Kansas City. I was like, Fusen. Yeah, it was bad. He
said,
looked at me like I was.
Put some respect on my name,
Man.
Neil. Put some respect on Fusa. All right, scroll down to the second to last graduate assistant. Second to last.
Drew Mayortra.
Say the first name again.
Drew
Mm-hmm.
Mirotra.
Drew. That's great. Now scroll up and look. This is for you, JT. Look at the, let's see, the right above Nick Maines, the other graduate assistant. Look at Kyle Strudevant. Look at his face.
He don't want to be there.
He don't want to be there. He's like, get me out of Provo.
They got him in Provo living wrong. He out here like, man, I should not have took this job.
Hey, they please tell me they clown him with that picture.
They have to.
They have to be like, come on, bro.
Yeah. He like, bro, I did not want to be here. They gave him a 2-year contract. He like, dang.
Where's he from? Let me see. Let me look up and see where he's from. He's got to be from what?
Georgie.
He's from
where? Georgie.
Where is Georgie?
That's a great question. Let's check.
I thought it said Georgia. It says from Georgia Tech. He went to
it's
school.
Bulgarian.
What?
Yeah, he went to Georgia Tech and USC.
Yeah, but he's from Norcos, Georgia. What? We might need to do some research on this, dude.
Yeah,
I was thinking he's from like New Jersey or.
Yeah, I thought he would. Yeah, for sure. I definitely didn't think that. I didn't think he was foreign.
Unless it's supposed to be Georgia and they mistyped it.
It's got to be.
Because that's what Google's telling me. It's supposed to be Georgia.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Because I was
I was about to say he looked like he don't look. I mean, you know what I mean. Sometimes he's wrong. You try to hit us with the Dominican and baseball. Like, damn, he started talking.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I mean?
You expect to talk some way, and you're like, what?
Oh, damn, my bad. I was unfamiliar. You know what I'm saying?
No, I didn't know.
I didn't know. I thought he was sitting. I was like, man, brother, like he probably from the East Coast or something.
Yeah, for sure. The Big O segment is sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. Hey, just real quick, I'm gonna pick my player for this game from the Bearcats. I'm gonna go with Tyler Betsy. Only reason is because like you go play a road game, you never know. Some guy might get hot, and I'm thinking Tyler Betsy can shoot the three. It might just be his game. He may not be focused on the scouting report for BYU. They could leave him open. You know, Tyler Betsy can knock it down. Never know.
Yep.
Let's hope so. We need somebody to get hot.
Yeah.
The Big O segment is sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. Do you have a business that needs better inventory control, production management, or improved accounting control? Outgrown QuickBooks or can't afford NetSuite? Give loyal Bearcat grads Doug and Kathy Jacobs at Smart Dog Solutions a call. They've been in your position and would love to help solve your problems. They can be contacted at 513-739-9473 or online at smartdog-solutions.com. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. The Kenyon segment is sponsored by Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota. This is where we cover the keys to the game. JT, what do the Bearcats need to do to win?
Man, they got to get on the glass, man. I think they need more offensive rebounds, more shots at the basket. Like the offense is waking up, so they still got to be aggressive that way. But just rebounding, man. They've been getting housed on the glass lately, and I don't like that. That's not Bearcat DNA. And we got to get back to if they're going to. I don't even want them to lose. I'm not even going there. We got to win the rebounding battle or be even at the worst. At worst, I don't. We're too athletic, too talented for this. Teams are punching us in the mouth, and that's kind of coming back to bite us in the backside. So on the road, we got to bite down, get on the glass, bro, because I mean, not Arizona State, my bad. The Arizona State dogs on the glass, even though we won. But, against, Tech, I mean, the offensive rebounding battle was, they won 10-3, and that 3 was kind of felonious because they was 10-1 probably until like the last 2 minutes of the game. So we got to control that. Like, I want to see us win the offensive rebounding battle, and I also want to see us, at least break even, as a total. So no more getting punched in the mouth on the glass. I don't like that.
Hey, JT, did you get a haircut and beard?
Yep.
Okay. Getting fresh for the weekend?
Yep. About 2 weeks, man. Every 2 weeks. This was my day. So whole crew had to get together. Take the
whole.
Yep.
Man.
Yep. It's tough. Time is a monster.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yep.
Neil, what do the Bearcats need to do to win?
Yeah, so for the Bearcats, JT already hit on the rebounding aspect. You would like to see them win the rebounding margin for the first time in what feels like almost a month. But for me, I want to see Cincinnati get downhill and attack. I mean, you look at what they were able to do versus Texas Tech. The three-point shot was not falling, but Cincinnati had a season-high 40 points in the paint. I think that is what Cincinnati is going to need to do here again on Saturday versus a very, very tough and physical BYU team. I would like to see Cincinnati kind of get downhill and attack the ball, attack the rim. Wes Miller kind of had said it, that they have been making that an emphasis especially as of late, to get downhill and attack the rim. I would like to see them come out, be physical, and look to be aggressive early, and that's attacking the paint and hopefully having another 40-point performance on that aspect.
Who are you looking for to attack and get to the basket, Neil?
Honestly, for me, I would like to see Jizzle James is good at attacking the rim. Everybody kind of knows that. Same with Day Thomas. Your two guards are really good at getting downhill and trying to attack the rim. But I'm looking for Simas Lukosius to attack the rim, and I want to see Dylan Mitchell kind of attack the rim and go hard, to make sure that he is able to get those buckets.
Neil, you're making progress.
Good job, man. Good job. Proud of you.
New year, new Neil. New year, new Neil. The Kenyon segment is sponsored by Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota. Hey, the only thing I'm going to say is, can we put together like both ends of the court? Can we play solid defense, solid on the offensive end in one game for 2 halves? I mean, could you imagine that? What would happen, right? I don't care if we're playing at home versus Kansas, away at BYU or wherever. The Bearcats win the basketball game if they play well in the defensive end, at the same time play well offensively for 2 halves. Now, I know that's one of those things where it just never happens every single game for an entire season. It's just human beings. It's just the way things are. But gosh, we need that right now more than ever. JT, I don't know how you feel, but based on this last loss, things are getting pretty dicey, man.
Oh no, it's gut check time. It's getting real. The margin for error is getting slimmer and slimmer.
Yep.
Every game you lose right now until you get close to 500, man. It's getting real. It's like at first, when we first talked about when they were 0-2 or 0-3, right? When they're 0-3, whatnot. I want to say losing in a row, they won 2. Matter of fact, they went 0-4. You're like, all right, maybe they split. And that split didn't happen. It just gets less games. You got 13 games left in the Big 12, and you're 2-5. That is not a position of power. That's all I will say.
I think what happens too is, so they start to get a little tight, right? So, yeah. It's like every game, anytime every game becomes such an important game, right? It's like, I don't like to use the term like this is a must win. You hear that so much, but when it starts getting in the head, getting in the kid's head that this is a must win, they get tight. They start to feel the pressure. You don't play your best basketball. And that's kind of my concern. I'm like, we're kind of in that to where these kids are starting to feel, I should call them kids, but these young men are starting to feel that pressure that they've got to come out and win every single basketball game, which we like for them to do. But
Yeah,
you don't want to have that mentality that you have to go out and win every game. It's like, look, I just need to go out and play my best. If I play my best, we win.
No, for sure, man. I mean, they got the talent. So like, that's what's rough about the losses. You know what I mean? But hey, they're gonna have to figure it out, man. Because if they can win they couldn't, win against BYU, then jumping ahead to the next game, they win those two, you're 4-5, and heading home, so then you got a chance to right the early hole, or dig yourself out the early hole that you dug yourself into, so the Big 12 is a monster, man. And if you lose these games, I don't even want to think about losses, on the road right now, because it can get real bleak.
Like Memphis.
Yep, like Memphis. Coming of age, man.
Hey, man, this bleak had some tracks, man. They give him a lot of flack, but
he did.
Jay-Z's psychic. Neil, do you know who Memphis Bleak is?
I do not. I do not.
Every podcast, we hit him with something.
Yeah, Memphis Bleak, man.
Everyone.
Bleak.
Memphis Bleak, Neil. He was Jay-Z's kind of sidekick in a sense. Would that be fair, JT? Like,
yeah, for sure. He was he was a sidekick for sure. For sure, 100%. I trying to think how else to describe him, because he wasn't really a hype man, but he was a sidekick.
Yeah, because I think he started off when he was on Jay-Z's album. He had like a guest verse, Neil.
Yeah,
it was fire. Like, people were like, "This guy's gonna be big time." It's hard being in the shadows of such, a great artist like Jay-Z, that he just never was able to. And so he always was kind of his hype man at the concert. So
yeah, for sure.
Which is
Bleak
crazy.
went gold though.
Huh?
Bleak went gold. Just never go platinum on that. And he probably went gold twice.
Okay. I don't even remember.
I feel like his albums, even though I bootlegged them, his albums was legit.
You bootlegged his albums?
Man, I was a bootleg king, man. Only person I probably would buy once I had my own money was probably like Jay-Z stuff, maybe Nas. I bought some albums, but I was a bootleg king, man. If I heard it and I didn't like it, if I liked the album, I would buy it. Like, I heard it and I was like, this is legit, I will buy it. But if I heard it and I was like, it's all right, then we bootlegging.
Okay.
Then we bootlegging. I done bought some albums that I thought was tight, and they like, after listening to them again, I'm like, damn, I probably should have bootlegged that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I would spend my money, like, well, the thing would be like, if it was 3 CDs coming out, like, if we liked them, it'd be me and my homies. So, like, I'll buy one, he'd buy one, then I would, whatever one I didn't buy, I'll burn it.
Yeah, burn it, yeah.
Yeah, but I'll bootleg it. I'm bootlegging. So that's technically, I mean, I have some part of where I purchased, but I would, try to get more hands, more irons in the pot. You know what I'm saying?
Neil, do you know about burning CDs back in the day?
Well, considering when I was younger, I thought it was a good idea to put a CD in a microwave. I did it differently.
Whoa.
Hold on.
When I was like 3,
you put a CD. You try to cook a CD.
A CD from when I was younger, and I just threw it in the microwave and slammed it, and kind of walked away. This was when I was like unsupervised. Okay. But they caught it, so nothing happened.
So it was so fire, or was it so trash you put it in the seat in the microwave, or was it so fire she was like, man, this is hot. I've never heard anything like this, and threw it in the microwave.
If I could tell you the real reasoning, I would give it to you. But
what CD was it? Do you remember?
Nope.
So have you ever listened to any music on a CD?
Yes.
Who?
So back in, what was this? Middle school?
Oh boy.
Yeah, back in middle school, I had back when All American Rejects dropped Dirty Little Secret. That I have that on CD. I have a Nickelback CD. Ooh, yes, I went through that phase. I got a couple country on CD, but I don't do it now. I won't buy a CD now, but back in the day,
I don't even think do they sell them still?
I was gonna say, where do you buy a CD from?
You can still buy CDs.
No. Yeah. Like, you can't walk into a store now and buy a CD, right?
Yeah, you can.
What store?
I swear Target has them.
For real?
Yeah.
Next time I go to Target, I'm gonna go back there and see, and I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna make an IG store if they got CDs.
JT, please check that. I think
where you go to Target.
Do you still have?
Do
you still have the Nickelback CD?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you still listen to it?
Not on the CD, but every now and then if I need a good change of pace. Nickelback's not bad. I don't understand the hate on it, but that's a podcast for a different day.
Hey, he said he never heard of Memphis Bleak. I've heard of Nickelback, but I've never listened to any Nickelback. It's not in my catalog.
It's not my preference, like go-to music if I need a song or something. But I mean, there's a couple Nickelback songs that are like, you're with the boys, you'll know which one's on.
All right, quick question. I know we're going to get into the hot topic here in a second, but quick question. JT and Neil, what is like one artist that you bought that you quietly like their music, but if you were to tell other people, they'd be like, what? That's garbage. Kind of that guilty pleasure, I guess. Would that be the phrase?
I'll go first, JT, if you want. I'm a big Chris Brown fan. And everybody I say that to hates
Chris Brown's legit.
Yeah, everybody I say that to hates that because of obviously like the past and what happened.
His music is legit.
Yeah, his music's legit though.
No, somebody that you would say like they think he's not a good.
Oh, they don't think
he's
like no. That's one. All my friends are like, "How do you listen to him? He is awful."
Nah, Chris Brown is.
Nah, they don't understand music. They don't understand.
Chris Brown is top tier, dude. That's like you don't get much better than Chris Brown.
Hey Neil, sometimes you gotta look at the friends you have around you. You know
that is true. That is true.
They think Chris Brown is a good artist, man. That's pretty rough, bro.
All my friends.
JT, who do you have?
Man, that's tough, man. This might take longer. All right, so I'll say when Gucci Mane first started, not now, or like once he kind of got his buzz going, but like when So Icy came out, and then he had like a mixtape. It was like a mixtape I like. People were like, "Why are you listening to this?" Because it'd be like it was a line between Jeezy and Gucci. So everybody was on Gucci side. I mean Jeezy side. Even though I like both, I was fair, but I always thought Gucci was a good artist. So at first, but now it's
you got
the Gucci Mane.
Early Gucci
Mane. Like he was dropping like hella mixtapes.
Yeah. Mine's easy. Justin Bieber.
He's legit though.
Oh, I rock.
He's good.
Bieber. He's good, man. I've got everything downloaded on my phone. I have been. This is no joke. This is in the last year. I've been in the gym lifting weights, listening to Justin Bieber. Like
lifting. You listen to calm music while you lift? I can't.
I listen whatever you think. Like I wouldn't listen to the lift. Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, Billie Eilish. I'll listen to that when I lift. I don't know why. I can't like. I listen to relax music, like music that's like real chill. I won't like it'll make me like take way longer to finish whatever I'm supposed to be doing. Like I'll be like chilling, looking around. I can't focus.
Getting in his fields or something like that.
Here's my theory. Okay, I believe when I lift weights, okay, whether it's heavyweight day, leg day, the key is breathing. You've got to have good breathing, right?
Yeah.
Those artists call me, make me breathe.
That's fair.
That's
everybody got their thing. Everybody got their stuff, man.
Everybody. I have kids. There's kids in the gym. Sometimes they're lifting weights and they see I'm listening to Baby. They're like, "What are you listening to, bro?
Yeah.
Why aren't you listening to Little Baby, man?" I'm like, I don't listen to them when I lift. Now, I did listen to Old Naughty by Nature the other day, their first album.
Okay.
When I was lifting weights. I did listen to that.
Yeah, our range, man. It's a range for me. Like I might have like a No Limit mix. I might have a Cash Money mix, and then if I'm not listening to new stuff like Gunna, I'll listen to like Future.
I like Gunna a lot.
Yeah, listen to some Gunna stuff. But then I have to like make sure I have certain stuff because sometimes he has like real like chill melodies. I need
Yeah,
it to be more up tempo because I'll start like kind of chilling around, like not going as tough in the gym.
different
Like
people got
that. Young
palates.
Dolph, I listen to a lot of Young Dolph, RP. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Key Glock, Key Glock is legit.
You
Well,
like
a lot of ratchet stuff, man. That keep moving. Then I'll change it up. Like if I'm like on a treadmill or something, then I can listen to like, or like the bike, I can listen to like more chill music. But when I'm like working out, listening like like moving weight, I gotta be able to some stuff that get me pumped up. Otherwise, I'll be on some bullshit.
see,
For real.
it's so weird. Like I've never had this discussion with anybody. I'm the complete opposite. Like when I do cardio, I
Yeah.
literally listen to Future. Like he's one of my favorites in
Yeah.
terms of like workout style. I listen to the Futures, the Little
Yeah.
Baby. Like I'll listen to that when I do cardio. But when I lift, I'm probably listening to Bieber, Billie Eilish, a lot of Billie Eilish.
Yeah, if I got that on, like I can't run the street. Like if I actually run on the road, I can't listen to like chill music. I gotta listen to up tempo music.
Okay.
They gotta be up tempo. Like if I'm listening to like relaxed music, like I'm gonna slow down automatically. Listen to like I don't know, what's a good song? Like California from Justin Bieber. California. Like I'm probably gonna like be like 3 minutes slower than I should be.
Okay.
Or at least a minute.
And Neil's listening to Nickelback.
Nickelback.
Out.
Hey, if I'm working out and you got to get to a dark place, I'm going to that Nickelback. Just saying.
All right, we're going down a real dangerous.
Yeah, we like slippery slope. We still ain't.
You got to find that good dark place to get a good workout in.
The Kenyan segment of the game, sponsored by Greg Hood at Beachmont Toyota. Come see fellow Bearcat Greg Hood at Beachmont Toyota for all your new and pre-owned Toyota needs. Look for Greg Hood on Instagram and Twitter at Cincy Greg Hoodin. Hoodin is spelled Hoodin. Or come see Greg at Beachmont Toyota. Always ready to help our Bearcat family get into a new Toyota. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. The Twyman segment is sponsored by Visionary Cleaners. This is where we cover hot topics. Today's hot topic, all right? I recently saw a post. Lance McAllister, one of my favorite guys in media. And fun fact about Lance McAllister, he was the first guy to ever have me on any media outlet on his radio show when I played for the Bearcats. He interviewed me my junior year on his show. It was the first time I was on anything, TV, radio, print, was on Lance McAllister's show, man. Always been my guy, man. One of my favorite people. So Lance posted on his social media outlets. I saw it specifically on Twitter. He posted that Wes Miller's record against quad one opponents is 6-32. This fired up a lot of fans. So my question for you two is, do you think Wes Miller is the guy for this job to coach this Bearcat basketball program? And if so, why? JT?
All right, I'm going yes. Showing improvement the last few years. I think the recruiting starting to get top tier players, which
Yep.
got a top tier program, bring top tier players in. You just got to start winning. That's the thing. He has to win. If he wins, the noise will quiet. It's always going to be some kind of chattering, but he got to win. That's just how it goes. It's part of the job. You're at UC. This isn't little sister of the poor. So people are going to be a little tighter and they're going to be irrational. That's what makes, our podcasts and other stuff, where people are paying attention. So I love Heist recruiting. He's got a top 25 guy coming in next year. A top, I think, Tillery's a top 50 guy, I think, or at least 55 or whatnot. So he's getting top tier talent in here. Tyler McKinley will be back next year. So it's just a lot of good stuff. He just has to win so he can, give himself a little space to breathe. Right now, this team is one of those teams that is expected to be, at least in the middle of the pack, top tier of the Big 12, and we're kind of below right now. I think we're like in seventh or eighth. So people are getting a little restless, but I think if he can just rally the troops, get a couple dubs, everybody kind of loosen up a little bit. But I do think he's the guy. He has the characteristics of a guy that is the man. So.
Now, JT, you mentioned recruiting. So if you look at it, let's just say that some fans want Wes to not be here, to be fired, or whatever the case might be. But these players love Wes so much. Could you imagine the mass exodus of current players, and then those recruits are definitely in the portal? They're not coming here.
Oh no, for sure, 100%, man. Like, yeah, you want them to go. We gotta ride the wave, man. Just hopefully, the staff can get it together. Those kids can get it together. But he's got some nice talent coming in. They gotta, it's gotta balance itself out. They gotta get the wins on the court, so then everybody kind of understands what's going on. And I think he's going to recruit at a high level. It's gotta keep kind of funnel it all together, man. But it will be how everybody's excited about who's coming in next year. It will be a hell of a. They have to have a hell of a hire if the fans got what they wanted, for it to work out, to bring in the people that Wes is currently bringing in.
Neil?
Yeah, for me, I think Wes Miller is the job. And the reason I say that is everybody looks at the quote-unquote quad one opportunities. Well, think about it now. Wes Miller's in year 4, right? You go back to the first 2 years. You're in the AAC where your quad one opportunities were a simple Houston and Memphis. You didn't have many quad one opportunities there. So can you really consider the 6-32 or whatever it might be into that aspect? No, because he simply didn't have that many quad one opportunities there. The quad one opportunities have came in the last 2 years between the Maui Invitational, the Big 12, the non-conference slates. The quad one opportunities have been there, and it's been in the best conference in America. And the reason I say that Wes Miller is the job for Cincinnati is, think about it. You have a younger head coach. I believe Coach Wes is 41 years old, if I remember right. And on top of that, college athletics right now is a completely different thing than what it was not maybe just even 5 years ago. Wes Miller knows how to adapt in the transfer portal. We have seen that. He has known how to recruit and use NIL. We have seen that. He understands what it takes to navigate the transfer portal and the NIL landscape when many coaches across college basketball weren't able to do so, and they are no longer in the sport. An example, Tony Bennett, Jay Wright, 2 Hall of Fame coaches there that were not able to figure out the NIL landscape. Or Jim Larinaga. You can throw Jim Larinaga in there too. So there's 3 Hall of Fame coaches right there that walked away from basketball. Tony Bennett did it at a really young age. Jay Wright did it at a young age. Jim Larinaga walked away right before the season started, all due to the simple facts of not being able to navigate the NIL and the transfer portal. But Wes Miller simply understands that aspect. That is why he is a good fit for this Cincinnati job.
The Twyman segment is sponsored by Visionary Cleaners. So, yes and yes, both what you guys said. I think Wes is the guy for this job. And I'm going to touch upon something a little bit different. I'm going to look at it from a former player standpoint. Wes's ability to, and his staff, let me say Wes and his staff, their ability to engage former players has been very impressive and make Cincinnati feel like home for everyone. I mean, you're seeing guys come back that haven't been back in a long time, and that takes some time. You've got to build those relationships up. And I think it does help that Wes was kind of an outsider. He comes from North Carolina, where they have a great alumni base. He comes to Cincinnati, and he's trying to build that and put that in place. And I know as former players, we'd hate to see a guy like Wes and his staff leave. And then you've got to start over and start with a new coach and a new staff, and you just don't know how they engage with former players. Like, I watch when new guys take on jobs. I like to watch press conferences, and sometimes my buddies that are in the coaching world join staff, so I like to watch and see. And a lot of them, they talk the talk about engaging with former players, and then I hear they don't really do it. Wes is doing it. He's not just talking about it at a press conference. Wes talked about it at a press conference. Think about this, JT and Neil. Wes called me and had a conversation with me and said, "Hey, I want you to come to my office so I can talk to you." We sat down for an hour. Like, if you look at the list of former players, you think about Kenyans, the Oscars, the Nick Van Exels, those guys up top, all the way down. I'm way down at the bottom in comparison to those guys. I should be one of the last calls. But the fact that he talked to me, he called me personally, and then he sat with me for an hour. I mean, think about it, what he's doing with these other guys. I mean, that takes time. That's impressive, man.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the other thing I want to say is his understanding of community. I think Hugs did a great job of that. So you think back to coaches that our city really loves and adores. Of course, you got to win, and Hugs did that. But Hugs, he was everywhere in Cincinnati. You could go about anywhere and see Hugs. And I feel like everyone that was around for that time period has a story with Bob Huggins. They can tell you, oh, one time Hugs and I were at this bar, which, right, wrong, or indifferent, he was probably, whatever, is what it is. And everyone's got stories. Like, everywhere I go, if I go to a school to speak or do something, I have people come up to me and go, "Hey, you played for Hugs? Oh, one time I was in Skyline in Cleves, Ohio, and blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, man, that's Hugs, man. And I feel like Wes is the same way. He's building that up where he's going around. People have stories with him. I just had somebody tell me a story that they had with Wes. It was just a couple weeks ago of a fan. So he understands former players and he understands community. Now you take that, what I just said, and couple that with what Neil said, understanding the NIL space and the transfer portal, and then with what you said, JT, his ability to recruit the players he currently has. Think about the players that came back that probably were offered money at other places that were better than UC, and then the guys that are coming in. I mean, what more do you want other than we do need to get victories? And I think he'll work hard enough to figure that out and get that in place. But last thing I want to say, and I'll throw it back to you guys on this. If you look at the modern day coach, if you were to say, hey, the way the NCAA landscape is now, and you look for these coaches that fit the mold of being a high-level coach, you look at a Pat Kelsey in Louisville, you look at a Wes Miller at Cincinnati, those guys, younger, understand the portal, understand NIL, understand former players, community. They have the energy, right? You mentioned this, JT or Neil. The Miami coach retired or stepped down.
And the reason he said that was because the year after they went to the Final Four, he felt like after they made that Final Four run that he had to convince 8 of those guys of the Final Four team to come back, and multiple of them left due to NIL opportunities.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean, that he said that was one of the reasons. And plus listen, I think part of that too that he didn't say, and of course he doesn't look at it like this, but he's old, man, for the coach thing. He didn't have the energy to chase them and fight the fight.
Yeah, for sure. He's like, damn, what you want me to do? I just got you to the Final Four. I said, nah, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Pay me. No, for sure. He probably just like, because he used to the old school, and they ain't like that no more.
Yep. Well, and I'm going to leave on this. My last thing I want to say, Joe Mazzulla, the head coach of the Boston Celtics, who I know, he said in a press conference, and I thought this was, we've heard this before, but you're hired to be fired. You hear this line a lot, and that is so true. You are hired to be fired. You're eventually going to be fired or you retire, whatever the case is. And in this case, I think Wes is the right guy for the job, and I want to see him continue to build, kind of what he started, and that's why I'm hoping he continues to get some victories. If he gets these victories, man, I'm telling you, man, he's going to take this program to new heights. So I think we need to kind of chill out. Cool. Hey, we're not winning. You don't like the offense. Blast him for that. Cool. Understand. But him not being the right guy for the job I think is off base in my opinion. You guys, anything you want to add to that?
Nah, man. Just get some dubs. It'll ease up pressure. Ease up. I mean, this is a program that every year is pressure. Every game is pressure, but at the same time, it'll be a lot easier if you just gotta get some dubs, man. Yep. What he's doing, he's laying the foundation for a successful program. He's got to get the wins. That'll put him over top. I think ease the mind of the Bearcat Nation.
Yep. Yeah, I'm the same way too. Because once the wins start coming, you're going to see a lot of different type of reactions, and it's going to be positive reactions. So he's got all the talent and stuff that he needs for this team to be successful. But once this team gets a couple of wins, hopefully it starts here versus BYU and Utah. And if they do that, fans are going to be feeling quite differently than what they feel now.
The Twyman segment is sponsored by Visionary Cleaners. Visionary Cleaners is a locally owned company by former Bearcat student athletes. They specialize in high-quality commercial cleaning of businesses, apartments, and pre- and post-construction cleans. They can be reached at 513-368-7816 or contacted online at visionarycleaners.com. Fellas, this concludes another great podcast. Thanks to all of our sponsors, Donahue Accounting Services, Smart Dog Solutions, Greg Hood and Beachmont Toyota, and Visionary Cleaners. Before we sign off, has there been another Mick Cronin press conference? Have we seen one?
I haven't seen one.
I have not. Okay,
they must have won then. Well, when they lose, let's get ready.
I know I need to start being on top of that, man, because it's for like a week, man. Every time Mick Cronin popped up on the timeline, it was must see TV.
Hey, yeah, it really was though.
JT, that's your job, okay? We need you to keep an eye on the Mick Cronin press conferences, okay?
For sure, we'll do.
If they lose, get your popcorn ready.
But
he's going for somebody. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. For friendly expert tax advice whenever you need it, come to Donahue Accounting Services, a leading accounting firm in Cincinnati, Ohio. Our top-notch accountants strive to help you resolve all your financial and tax issues. Call Donahue Accounting Services today for a free consultation at 513-528-3962 or visit online at DonahueAccountingService.com. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. Go Bearcats.